Ain't going back, not gonna buy into all that. Hey, hey, ain't gonna hide, gonna let all the fears slide. Got mother nature, it's on my side. Got all of the loving growing inside.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the new now. It's been a little while since I've done a solo video for all of our lovely viewers and fans and people that have been following us for the last about a year now. I really appreciate your dedication and your time in coming to watch some of the lovely interviews I've done over the last little while. Some amazing luminaries, people helping in education, people helping in family relationships, people helping in internal work, whether it's for your heart or for your community or for your so-called spirituality. I would say working on your integrity. And basically, I've had a lot of questions, personal emails from a lot of people that have asked me where to start. How do I start doing this work? It seems real easy when I'm watching people talk about it. It seems real easy when I'm watching others share how they got to where they wanted to be in life, how they cleared their challenges, how they became the kind of people they wanted to be in this world. And yet, when they turn off the computer or they put down the cell phone and the video is done and they want to get to work on themselves, they're not really sure how to take those first few steps. And it's something I've been considering for a few days, before I picked up the mic, so to speak, and decided that I was going to share in this video. And I could only talk about my own experience. Anybody that talks in shoulds and have tos and musts and for certains, I would say, you know, take it with a big grain of salt. Because for everyone, there is their own way, and for everyone, there is their own path, and for everyone, there are their own choices. And even though a lot of us may have some similar circumstances in our life, and there are some things we all share, and some things, few of us share, and some things none of us share, we all have our unique perspective. We all have our unique experiences. We all have our unique day to day inputs, beliefs, education, training, food we've eaten, where we've lived, how we've lived, who we've lived with. The list goes on and on and on. And we all have to do that for ourselves. If I was going to make a suggestion and I can only once again say what worked for me, I would say start with your heart. I'm even going to call this the battle for your heart. I would think with all the distractions going on in these days, the silly so-called whatever, I don't want to call it, the shenanigans, the mass shenanigans of the day that everyone seems to be fighting through, where people are worried about the laws and their food and their travels and their money and their family and their health and the environment so-called and their carbons and their warming and their cooling and their whatevers, and their so-called loss of freedoms, or so they feel, loss of laws, duplicitous politicians, lying doctors, whatever, fights of masculinity and femininity and children and adults and old people and homes. And again, it's all, in my opinion, a huge distraction. What you need to do, what I needed to do, I'll change that, is go to my heart, see what was going on, find out what was working for me, find out how it was happy, find out how it wasn't happy, find out what it was even saying to me, listen to the voice. If you don't hear that voice, and it took me years from the time I was a little boy, and then when I was, a lot later in life, and I remember a friend asked me if I could hear my heart, and I sat down and I tried to listen, and it felt like there was a huge empty chasm, black hole, space, cage around this area where we all consider our hearts to be. The middle part, the middle part of our body, that voice that's not from your head, the one above your gut, which is your intuition, let's say. We all have our intuition. Whether you follow it or not, it's up to you. Everyone has that little voice, and it's the heart or the brain from your guts. And if you talk to anyone who's done any studies in energetic movements, they'll probably tell you there's more nerve centers and there's more feelings and there's more brain-like functions that come from your guts than come from your silly little head. And I would say, to put it simple, that's our intuition. So you have your intuition and you have your thoughts. And this is what I've seen for myself anyways. Your thoughts can be your computer. You get some ideas, you can use it for imagining pictures, images, whatever. And in between your thoughts and your guts is your heart. Your intuition gives you an idea of something to do or not to do, I would think, or where to go or where not to go. Your head can tell you what your head tells you. You know, we all have those experiences, but it's your heart, I feel, that gives you the advice that everyone needs to listen to as far as what to do and what not to do and which way to go and which way not to go in life. So again, I've had questions. Where do I start? You start with your heart. See what that means for you. If you don't know how to do that, you have to learn, in my opinion. Without your heart, without your heart's voice working, you're lost. You're easily swayed. This is right, that's right, this politician is okay, that politician is okay, this diet is good for you, that diet is bad for you, this is what you need to do to make money, this is what you need to do to save money, this is what you need to do to be healthy, this is what you need to do to exercise, etc. It's fine and dandy, it's good to be healthy, good to have abundance, you know, it's good to be free to travel. All these things are I would think self-evident. You know, if your heart is working though, in my opinion, you can't be moved. You can't be swayed by whatever the TV tells you. You can't be swayed by whatever your cell phone is telling you. You can't be swayed even by what I'm telling you. You can't be swayed by what anyone is sharing with you. All you can really do, if you really hear your heart, is understand that your heart for you won't lie to you because it's your heart. And it really wants you to feel the loving experience that I would, I would guess everyone wants to do. For me, I can say I allow often enough my own stupidity to start my heart's voice from getting the clear path that I require to the actions I need to take in my day-to-day life. You know, I have a picture on the wall over there, one of my favorite artists, that basically is a little boy looking at himself in the mirror that says, "How am I being stupid today?" You know, and I hung that up. Well, my wife shared it with me, but I hung it up a while ago, at least a year ago now, and I look at it whenever I remember to see how, for me, when I say how I'm being stupid, it's how I'm not listening to my love. It's how I'm not listening to my heart. It's how I'm not listening to the higher part of myself that simply wants to have a loving life for myself, for the people around me. And if you're loving to yourself, you're healthy for yourself. If you're loving to yourself, you don't let people rule you with fears. If you're loving to your family, you make sure they're okay. If you're loving to the world, you know, you naturally don't pollute. If you're loving to your friends, you're naturally nice with them and honest. You know, hard love, soft love, tough love, whatever you want to call it. If you're loving, you will find a way to make sure that your life is okay. So really, when I've thought about this, it's as complicated and as simple as can be. You know, it's taken me many, 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 many years and lots and lots and lots of help and many, many, many people. And I'm still at it on a daily basis to allow my heart into my life all the time. Where do you start? You start with your heart. How do you get there? It's really up to you. Most people don't like to hear that because we've been taught to choose A, B, or C, to have this belief or that belief, to follow with this rule or that rule, to have this religion, that religion, this idea of spirituality, the other idea of what's okay, how do we, diets, etc., lists, goes on and on and on. I would say, in my opinion, turn off the TV, turn off the cell phone, sit down by yourself, see what your heart is trying to tell you. Make some choices in relation to that, see where they take you. Make a list if you need to. I've made 1,000,000,000,000,000 lists. I don't even think I'm exaggerating. This is good for me, that's not good for me, this I would like more of, that I would like less of. You all have to figure it out for yourself. No one can hold your hand, although someone might hold your hand. No one can tell you what to do, although you might get some good advice. No one can tell you where to go, although you might be inspired by one person or another, moving, living, greeting, taking up a vocation. The list goes on and on and on. There is no one right answer for anybody. There can't be. That's why we're here. We're here to be alive. We're here to lead ourselves to freedom, in my opinion. The best way I have found to be free is to free your heart. Because if that's free, you're free. Hearts can't be lied to. Your thoughts can trick you. You can allow them to overlay what you find is your best interest. In other words, you can allow your thoughts to cover up what your heart is saying. Thoughts get very loud. A heart's voice is kind of quiet because a heart and love is peaceful. It's respectful. It doesn't want to be intrusive. Even if you're choosing stupid for yourself, it will probably allow you to, because a heart will let you do what you need to do to figure out what you need to do and what you need to not do. That's real love. A heart's going, Okay, if you have to have that cigarette, if you have to have that whiskey, if you have to be mean to this person, if you have to, let a loving situation go, go ahead, get that experience. I still love you. It will help you in the long run. Fall down and get up again. Be horrible and realize it stinks. Have another hangover, realize you don't want to do that anymore. Have another cigarette till you're coughing up the next hill until you go, oh my goodness, I better stop that. I better love my life. I better love my lungs. I better love my body. I better love my consciousness. I better love my family. I better love my community. I better love what I'm doing. I better love the planet, etc. If you love things and you come from there, and I don't mean the silly, sloppy, everything is love and everything is light and everything is good, because that's BS in my opinion. Because love is honest, and sometimes honesty stinks. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's bloody. Sometimes it's horrible. Sometimes it'll leave you in the gutter. Sometimes it'll leave you with a bloody nose or a scar. But always in the end, it will allow you to see who you are, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. If you're alive and you're breathing, if you're 10, you're 110, your heart will show you how to gain the energy required to keep growing in your life. It's amazing, really. Our heart, I read somewhere once, has 20 times, 100 times, a lot more energy than your head. We've been tricked to think, all of us have been to school, most of us. Most of us have been sent there to consider so many words and so-called facts and so-called ideas about history, ourselves, health, politics, where we came from. The list goes on and on and on. For me, I found it's all bullshit. All that's true, I have seen for me, is what I experience in my day-to-day life. It doesn't take a genius to figure out, if you look around the crazy virus garbage. I haven't seen one person sick in the 13 months or however long this has been going on. I haven't seen anything of any kind that would tell me anything anybody is telling me outside of my own experience is true or not true. I live my life. I see how I feel. I talk to the world. I let it talk to me. I let it talk to my heart. Could be a flower, could be a person, could be a dog, could be a bird, could be anything. Could be a dream, could be a book you've read, could be a nice movie. I've seen some of those. Doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with a good TV show if it makes you feel good, or a movie, or whatever. What's wrong is to allow something inanimate, like a voice coming out of a box, or something in a book, or some silly person in a suit, or a lady or man, a girly suit, a manly suit, tell you what to do, and you to take things at face value, so to speak, without figuring things out for yourself. That's the tragedy I found in this life for people. They listen and they don't find out, and they don't do their own actions, that they don't move the way they would like to move in relation to their own heart. So there you go. I'm going to keep this video not so long. How do you get free? Listen to your heart. What's going on right now? I think there's a battle. I feel there's a battle for your love going on out there. When they tell you to be afraid of this or that, and they tell you it's because you love your family or you love yourself or you want to keep things safe, think again. See what your heart is telling you. If you can't figure it out, ask for help. If you need some advice, feel free to write us here. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to email me. I haven't been shy in offering the perspectives that I've decided to share. There's so much information out there. We've made a dozen good videos here. Some on family, some on happiness, some on health, some on education, some on spirituality, so-called. I would say all on integrity. There's more coming. There's more information than anybody requires to move themselves to where they need to be, even with what they try to hide, even with the so-called censorship on the internet. If you really look around, I've seen nothing but great books that are still available, great writings that are still available, great videos that are still available, great bits of information in so many sources, books, etc. And a lot of them, if not thousands and thousands of them, really do share experiences on getting back to your own integrity, getting back to your own love, getting back to your own feelings of what is required for you. And all you really got to do is block out the noise of the day, block out the times, block out whatever anyone is telling you. If you agree with it, it's great. Do some actions. If you don't agree with it, also great. Do some actions. None of this I'd like to, but, take the butt, sit down on your butt. That's what butts are for. Butts are for getting rid of garbage. The rest is up to you and your heart and your love. I'm Lorenzo. Thank you so much for taking a short time to join me here today. Please like and subscribe. I'm certainly open to questions and suggestions and recommendations. There'll be many, many more videos coming up very, very soon. I have some great guests coming up. We love you all very much. We're going back to print. Just want to tell everyone that. Come join us right away if you want to. As our editor said, it's an internet that can't be censored. Print, freedom of the press. It's why they block it in unfree societies. So come join us if you can. We're open to suggestions, questions, businesses that want to help, movements that want to help, and loving inspirations especially that can't help but want to help, because that's what love does. So I love you all very much. I'm Lorenzo. Thank you for joining us here today. I'll talk to you again very soon.
Can't make me lie to my heart. No one tells me where I should start. Freedom first is what I say.